Mission.
Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for watching my channel and listening to my podcasts and that kind of stuff. Recently, I was asked to attend an online talk show called the LEO Roundtable. Now, if you're wondering what LEO stands for, it's LEO. It stands for Law Enforcement Officer. It's a group of police officers that get together and talk about law enforcement issues. And they did a special little show called their Gun Show, in which they wanted me to propose some questions to them that I might get from my viewers so that they could answer them. I found it a lot of fun. They're a great bunch of guys, and I thought you might want to check out a little bit of it here. I'll have links in the description so that you can go watch the entire show if you want to at their channel. It is an hour long, so it's a little bit long to post here, but you're welcome to go watch it there. Here are a couple of highlights.
So good evening and welcome to LEO Roundtable at leoroundtable.com. My name is Chip the Block and I'm your host. But this isn't the normal, ordinary LEO Roundtable talk show. In fact, this segment is not going to be the talk show. We have a special gun show that we're going to be doing. I don't mean the guns that these guys have got hanging from their sleeves. I'm talking about the real firearm stuff. So what do citizens need to understand with regard to law enforcement contacts with law-abiding CCW holders?
I think this. I think people shouldn't be really volunteering that they have a gun on them if they're doing the right thing and they're legal. And here's my reason. You don't go up to any cop anywhere and go, "Officer, I just want to let you know I'm not breaking the law." And wouldn't that be what was happening? I think this. If you're carrying a gun and you're a regular, normal, honest person, great. Keep that all to yourself. Nobody else needs to know that at that particular point.
No, I absolutely totally agree with Brett on that. And I've seen too many good situations go south because someone feels like they have to volunteer that information. It's something that, you know, if I had a car pulled over, I don't really need to know unless you're right. I'm putting my hands on the guy. But go ahead, Dan.
Well, it's funny. In the state of Texas, you're required if pulled over by a police officer and you're a CCW carrier to notify the officer, "Hey, I have a permit. I'm carrying a gun." But I can tell you this, if you don't notify him and he finds out the hard way, he takes it very personally.
On the other hand, I have been stopped by Highway Patrol and stopped for tickets where they're going to write me a ticket, and I generally hand them my license, my registration, and my concealed carry permit all at the same time. I don't mention it because I think the worst thing you can say to a cop is, "I have a gun." I don't know that that's going to work out all that well.
Well, guys, let's take our next one here. We've got next one that Joel gave us. How do you rank and file law enforcement, or I'm sorry, how do rank and file law enforcement perceive law-abiding CCW holders?
Well, the only thing, you know, to coin a NRA, my favorite NRA saying, the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. I'm completely for and in support of everybody who is a law-abiding citizen going out and getting trained and carrying a firearm so we can put a stop to all of these lowlives out there who are preying on innocent victims. But that being said, training is the key thing. You know, it takes a lot more than writing a check, passing a background check, and then sticking a gun in your holster. Depending on what state you're in and what training they require you to have in order to carry or get a permit, that's a big issue because, you know, the untrained dummy with a CCW gun is the biggest detriment to himself, police, and everybody else out there. So, you know, please carry, but only after you get training, you know, and by saying that, the opposite is true. Please get the training and then please carry.
The Second Amendment to the Constitution it guarantees a God-given right. And it is the only right under our Constitution that people have to petition the government for the permission to exercise. And I have problems with that. If we have a right, it is not a privilege. It is a right. And I don't need to quote the thing to you, but I will anyway. It says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, which means that really, constitutionally, when you really get right down to it, I don't need a permit to carry a gun. I have a right to do that. And the government does not have the authority to force me to take a class, even though as a good citizen I should. I agree. If I'm going to be a responsible gun owner, I should be trained. And if I'm going to be responsible carrying the gun, I better go get training. But there's no legislative authority or constitutional authority for the government to mandate that, as much as I agree it should happen. So I'm curious what your comments are.
I find myself in agreement with Joel. Now, from a training perspective, I would love for all my students and all these people to spend a week with me learning how to shoot, but that's an onerous burden. My forefathers didn't have to take a class. They didn't have to fire a score. In the state of Florida, it's a real nice balance. You have to demonstrate proficiency with a firearm by, as it says, handling it safely and discharging a firearm. Now, people could argue, well, that's not enough. That doesn't teach them enough. Well, damn, this is all about personal accountability. You know, and I tell people this in my classes, when the homicide police come out, because you put a bad guy on the ground, they don't give a damn how accurate you were. They don't give a damn what caliber it was or what time. They care this. Did you have the right to pull the trigger?
Hey, despite the fact that we threw out a kingdom and a monarchy 200 and some years ago, you still have people out there who want to go back to that system. Because the sad part is, no matter how anti-gun somebody is, they still want their bodyguards to have guns, don't they? Name any anti-gun politician. They still want their guns. They just don't want you peons to have a gun. And that's what we're up against.
So if you get a chance, check out LEO Roundtable. Their channel is here on YouTube. You can check them out with the link that's in the description and watch the rest of this show that I gave you highlights for, as well as their regular show. I think they do it once a week. And then occasionally I'll be back again to visit, and we'll talk more about gun issues there. Have a great day. Thank you for watching, and please be safe.